my name is Prince Joseph. I'm the Chief Information Officer at SFO Technologies. SFO Technologies is the flagship company under the Nest Group. We are based and headquartered in Cochin, but we have factories, outlets, offices pan-India, and we serve an international market. 80% of what we produce goes as exports to the United States, Europe, and Asia Pacific. So it's interesting because when I look at the 20 plus years of experience across varied industries and the evolution of IT and technology over these years, it's interesting to find out how do you take that knowledge that you've gained in core technology, in core solutions, and apply that to various business processes. So I was in airline, in airport operations, in hospitality, in IT for IT. There's a set of very foundational things, but how do you use these elements into the next one? So moving into logistics, into transportation, that was exciting. And I think the first thing is to figure out and understand how the most important aspects of this new industry is working, and that learning is quite exciting. And then try to match. It's like the little puzzle game that we have. You have a lot of things, and you got to pick things that actually match, and try to match the technology with what they need and what really makes sense. Is quite exciting. And I think the third thing which really helps me grow and develop is to figure out what are the best practices and standards that each of this industry looks after, because what airlines look after is a little different, logistics is a little different. When it comes to manufacturing, it's a little different, because right now in Industry 4.0 and things like that is something which I probably would not have looked at in other industries. So there's a lot of area and room for learning, and I think constant learning is something which which really makes me quite excited. When you look at the origin of SFO, we started operations about 3 decades back, and that was such a nascent stage that to conceive an enterprise of this nature was quite bold on the part of the investors and promoters, and that too in a place like Kerala. But the board members, the founding members of this organization had a really grand vision. I've been with them only for the last 3.5 to 4 years, but what I've seen is that over these 3 decades, they've actually grown to be one of the top 5 MNCs in the electronics manufacturing space, Indian MNCs in the country. And we are a huge contributor to the state, to the nation, in terms of employment to the local community and Kerala. And we also have factories and outlets and offices across India. And I think when you look at the total employment workforce, we are probably looking at north of 6,000, up to 8,000 people are employed with us. And there's a lot of ancillary businesses that depend on us. The second thing that SFO does is, we are a export-oriented business primarily. So the foreign currency inputs that we bring in is also a great boost to the country's exchange rate balances and things like that. And we have consistently grown that over the last 3 decades. And we are also located in the special economic zone, and we have proven that these kind of programs by the government is a good foundation that can be made very successful. And I think the expansions that we have had and the vertical integrations that we have had also proves that the faith that's been put on the enterprise by the government and the bodies around is also well-founded and proven. And as the business is also catering to Fortune 100 companies, that means these are the best enterprises you can find in the world, and we are able to meet their quality product demands. It shows the level of competence and capability that we as a nation are able to produce and deliver. So that is something which is also a good contribution from SFO, which others can also emulate and be inspired by. We started off as a contract manufacturer, so that means the product is designed by the OEM or the product owner. And if I could take the name of one of our customers, say GE will have hundreds and thousands of products which they design, which they want somebody else to build for them. So we started off in that space. But then over time, we gained so much knowledge, competence, and experience on the processes that's followed, on the tool sets that's used, on the skill sets that's required. We are able to add more value back to them. And this actually helped us also to just in a position to start doing apart from the contract, but we're also able to do original designs ourselves. So while we haven't fully forayed into creating our own products, the ODM as a service became quite valuable to our existing customers, and it was a new market for us. So we are able to do research and development as a service, and that's become a good revenue stream for us. That means we are able to take the idea, able to prototype it, and be able to prove or go back and say, here is a product that can be mass produced. So do you want to do that? So that becomes a source of projects and work for us. And we also have proven that in the, typically in manufacturing, anything that you do, you start off with an NPI phase, or a new product phase. And we are able to write the book on how do you manufacture this particular product. And this can be reused by the original or the product owner, irrespective of wherever he chooses to manufacture it from. So those are skill sets, and those are areas where, SFO, from being limited to what we offer, we are now able to offer a wide spectrum of solution and service offerings. In addition, I think the other part which also helps the space is previously we used to do one part of manufacturing, we used to do electronics, but now we know that if you want to produce an entire product, you need to have plastics, sheet metal, tooling, cables, wire harness, optical parts, and we have set up factories for all of this. That makes us one of the truly vertically integrated manufacturers available in the electronics component industry in India. So it is not possible to sustain the kind of deliverables and promises that we have without leveraging technology. Otherwise, we become too people intensive. And the pandemic has also helped us or accelerated our drive in that direction in two ways. One is previously, before the pandemic, we would have our customers traveling in. They would be visiting the plant. They would be inspecting their components. They would be doing a lot of checks and balances before we were able to ship the finished product out. With the pandemic, that had stopped. That doesn't mean that we can stop our production, we can stop manufacturing. So we had to find creative ways to fill that gap, meet the quality requirement, satisfy the inspection criteria. And there we started leveraging visual imaging, we started leveraging more and more technology that was giving data and visibility to us and to the customer. And the data visibility part is one of those innovative areas where a lot of work has been done, because at the end of the day now, any decision that needs to be made, you need to make it quickly, you need to make it fast, and you need to be sure that you're making it based on the right level of data and facts that's backing it up. So if there's any areas where it's siloed, or if if there are gaps, that's a risk to us. So we were able to accelerate that time frame in some cases where certain data or report or analytics would take 2 or 3 days for it to be completed. In certain areas, I won't say it's across the board, but certain areas we have actually shortened it down to minutes. And I see this trend accelerating even more. And one of the things that helps us is, when you say AI, ML, there is a layer of AI that comes in to providing this. The second part is to feed this. Data needs to be collected from sources. There are many sources that we have for data, and these data sets are also is different technology stacks that we look at. But one of the areas that we want to collect data from was directly from the machine to give us a real-time view of where the process is, what's the status of the manufacturing process, etc. And there IoT played a big role for us. So again, I wouldn't say that because we have 70 to 18 factories across India, and not all of them are at the same level of maturity. The newer ones, which is more enabled, more tech-enabled, the high-tech ones, there we have actually deployed IoT technologies to collect machine data. Machine integration is done, and there's a lot of things which goes into that. Blockchain is something which we're looking at, because we do want to do something around traceability, which gives assurance back to the customer on how the parts that's gone into creating this product and the component level traceability can be done. So there is some work happening in that front. But data analytics, intelligence, AI, which supports that, plus IoT, which is also a part of that, is where a lot of focus has gone. So this actually goes back to, first, it's not a technology answer. It's more around a philosophical answer, because you can only treat a patient if that patient is sick, and if they feel they're sick. So there's no point of calling a doctor to heal somebody who's not sick. So it is to actually bring that awareness about a gap in where you're standing now and where you could be standing, and that takes a bit of effort, and it's actually going to be different across different enterprises. You can't say this is the one process to follow. It also depends on people. So it depends on the acceptance of the people, how open they are to listen to these things without being threatened. That culture adjustment is something quite important. One tool set that I deployed, or what I believe helped us, was the setting up of a specific office that we call the Digital Transformation and Innovation Office. So a vehicle like that has got a remit. Their sole purpose is to evangelize this across all functions. So that is something which I find is quite critical, pivotal in helping to drive this forward and across and broaden the scope of this. So that is the only tool that I can think of, because otherwise each one You go in there, you get the senior stakeholders to buy into what they want to do, agree on what is your burning platform, work out ways to actually look at determining what tool sets we can deploy to help them. And I think the other thing is it's always to constantly give them the feeling that there's only the main objective from my side is I'm trying to help you, not that I'm trying to take anything away from you. Just want you to start working smarter, working a little bit more efficiently, and leveraging technology so that you can have a better work-life balance yourself, a better quality of work and satisfaction. And that's what makes me also feel that we are meeting business objectives the right way.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.